Hello everybody, how are you today? My name is Rex Butler and I am your professor for History of Christianity, Early to Medieval. I wanted to give you this welcome and introduction to our course as we begin the semester. This semester we will be covering about 1,500 years of church history, so I hope you're ready for quite a ride. We will actually begin even before the beginning of the church to talk about the context in which the church developed. We'll be talking about the Greek, Roman, and Hebrew cultures in which the early church developed. Then, as we begin the church, we will find the church in a position of being an outsider, and so they suffer persecution, often martyrdom, and so we'll be looking how persecution and martyrdom impacted the early church. We'll be talking about heresy and the relationship of heresy and orthodoxy. Then, of course, that will impact the development of Christian theology. We will talk about the canonization of the New Testament. Of course, throughout history, we'll be talking about key figures of the church. We'll be looking at one of the most important turning points of the early church, the union of church and state after the conversion of Constantine. We'll talk about the Council of Nicaea and the other councils which dealt with theology and Christology. As we move into the medieval church, we'll talk about the rise of the two main institutions, that is the papacy and monasticism. We'll also talk about the rise of Islam and how it impacted the church. Later on, of course, the Crusades are a part of this relationship and conflict between Islam and Christianity. Then in Europe, we have the rise of the Empire of Charlemagne and then its decline. After that, we have feudalism and the feudal church. We'll talk about how the church became mixed up with the state. We'll talk about the zenith and decline of the papacy. And then as we talk about the decline, of course, we'll talk about reasons why the Reformation became necessary, and we'll talk about the earliest of the reformers. So we have quite a bit of history to cover this semester, and I hope you're ready and excited to learn it. I thought that this might be a good time for me to talk a bit about my philosophy of church history, because I picture church history like a tapestry. And in that sense, I mean that the weaving of church history began at the very beginning, and it even continues on through today. And as the weaving began with the beginning of the church, every Christian has been a part of its construction. Threads have been contributed by the early church fathers and the early church mothers, the medieval popes and monks and crusaders, of course later the reformers, the Bible translators, the missionaries, preachers and pastors through the ages. Many of the weavers are unknown to us, but during our study we will be looking at just a few of the weavers of the tapestry who are known to us. The tapestry demonstrates that church history is a series of causes and effects. No event happened in isolation from what went before or came after. And that concept is part of what made me fall in love with church history, to look at how all of the events are woven together. The width of the tapestry pictures the influence of culture on Christianity, philosophy, politics, language, science, art, education, historical events such as war, poverty, and disease. All are intertwined with church history. And we continue to be part of church history, and we are weaving our own threads into what will come after us. So I think it's important for us to realize what an important part of church history we are now and will be in the future. You know, every week New Orleans Baptist Theological Seminary touches 2,500 to 3,000 churches across the southeastern United States and even around America and the globe. And it is our goal to teach our courses in such a way that through our students in these churches, we can impact each church each week through each student. So I pray that you will receive important information, concepts, and disciplines that will assist you as you lead in your church in whatever capacity you are, or whatever ministry that you're involved in. I pray that this class will have an impact on you. God bless you as you study this semester.